Welcome to Law Talk Today, a series devoted to bringing you informative and educational programs focused on issues of law, government, and community.
Good evening and welcome to LawTalkToday.tv. My name is Mark Gruber and I'm the host this evening. This is a weekly show, and each week we interview people in the law, people in the know, and we talk about various legal subjects. For example, we might be talking about a battered woman one week, we might be talking to a police officer demonstrating a breathalyzer machine. The next week we've had shows with employment lawyers, with you name it. The topics are never ending. We do have a website. You can go there, lawtalktoday.tv, if you want to see some of the shows and gather more information. In keeping with that, we have tonight with us Judge William McGovern from the Sussex County Family Court, and we're going to be talking about custody, a very, very interesting subject. I hope we can get this all in a half hour. Judge McGovern, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Judge, I'm a divorce attorney and family attorney, and when people come into my office and they ask about custody, my general explanation to them is that there are two levels of custody. The one level is the legal custody, and I put that on the top level. That's the decision making. The second level is the physical custody, where the children are at a given point in time. And there's all different types of scenarios on that, on the physical level. The first is what we call joint legal custody on the top level, and as opposed to sole legal, and we'll talk about that in a moment. On the physical, it's either a primary parent, which is the more routine, the more traditional, where a child remains with one parent primarily during the week and then alternates on weekends with the other parent. And shared parenting, which is more of a 50-50, a 60-40, a 70-30, but something more than just the traditional. And I explain to clients that it's the best interests of the children that the court will look at in making a decision if they can't agree themselves. Do you agree with that basic premise of custody?
Yes.
I mean, it gets a lot more complex.
Sure.
Right?
Devil's in the details.
Yes, absolutely. Just for our audience, a little bit of background about yourself. I know you were a practicing attorney in family law.
Correct.
And
I practiced for approximately almost 25 years in a general practice law firm in Sussex County, which involved cases throughout north and central New Jersey and beyond. And among those case types that I handled were matrimonial, typical standard divorce cases, domestic violence cases, some non-dissolution cases, paternity cases when there used to be a lot of paternity cases, and other assorted family matters such as juvenile cases. And you became a judge when? In 2004, so it's been about 5 years now. All right. Now, in your position in Sussex County, you do handle a lot of custody cases. Absolutely, right? I mean, there's two judges sitting in family, and you're one of them. Correct. And so you certainly brought a lot of experience in family law, and now you've got 5 under your belt as a judge. Right. Tell our audience, if you will, something about the best interest standard and how you look at that. Well, my personal use of that term is, of course, filtered by the case law here in New Jersey and a practical experience in handling cases over the last 24 plus years as an attorney, and now 5 as a family court judge. What does that mean, best interests of the children? Well, it can mean different things in different cases. Every case is different, every case is unique. But generally, the common thread of concern in all of those cases is, number one, is there any factor or are there any factors that stand out whereby one parent or the other could be deemed or viewed as not fit to have custody because of something that that parent did or failed to do, such as is the Division of Youth and Family Services involved? Is there any history of domestic violence? Are there any final restraining orders in place under the Domestic Violence Act that would preclude one parent or the other from having custody. Those are kind of red flags. If none of those red flags, those are just a few examples, if none of those red flags exist, then it becomes more difficult if I have to, as a judge, determine where custody is to be placed with the mother or the father, and then I have to consider a wide array of information. One of the things I look to and rely on heavily in those cases is expert reports and expert testimony from a psychologist who has experience in that area.
Judge, before we go there, when you make a decision for custody, you are guided and bound by an analysis of factors.
Correct.
Right? And we call those Title IX factors.
Yes.
And in every case that you have to decide, the statute says you need to consider those. So let's go through some of them and give us your take on it. The parent's ability to agree, communicate, and cooperate with one another.
That's obviously very important, especially when you're talking about the effectiveness of joint legal custody, the ability of the parents to make decisions.
That's probably even more important, I think, when a parent wants to be a shared parent, when they want to have more equal time. They have to be able to communicate and make it work, right? And if they're hostile with one another, it's kind of difficult.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean,
if there's a hostility between the parties, the parents that is strong, palpable, that makes joint legal custody a problem, and it may have to be a situation that's looked at in terms of deviating from the statutory presumption of joint legal custody and perhaps allocating legal custody just to one parent. It also, of course, can have an impact on the effectiveness of shared residential custody or physical custody. Again, this is a case-sensitive, personality-sensitive analysis. One case as a divorce case I had just today. The parents, if they were any more friendly, you would ask yourself, how could these people possibly be in front of me seeking a divorce? They were incredibly cooperative, incredibly communicative. They were on the same wavelength with regard to the number of